Okay. Hi, thank you for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be discussing a spelling rule in English known as the Y rule, which you may have guessed applies to words which end in the letter Y. As with most rules in English, what you're going to learn is they come with a fair number of exceptions. Just to put it out there, with regards to exceptions, there's no general rule that you can use to determine as to whether or not the word you're dealing with, in this case words ending in the letter Y, fall under said exception. The only advice I can give you is to commit as many of these exceptions that we'll encounter later to memory. This is something that native English speakers will do, and it's generally more of an organic experience, meaning we learn through trial and error which ones fall under said exception. Anyway, for now, we're going to go ahead and jump into the first part of what are essentially three layers to this rule. And let me rephrase. And for this rule in particular, it's about spelling rules. A spelling rule in which a word ending in Y needs a suffix appended to it. And again, a suffix will come at the end of a word, as opposed to a prefix which comes at the beginning. We're focused only on words that are added at the end, called suffixes, for words ending in the letter Y. Okay, here, the first rule that you should see presented on your screen is if the letter before the final letter Y in the word, preceding it, so coming before it, is a vowel, then whenever you're adding your suffix to this word, you're just going to keep the Y the way it is. You're going to add your suffix however you would like. And I did come prepared with a few examples of this. So for example, here we're going to write the word, maybe not. Yes, I did. Okay. Toy. Here I can see that it ends with the letter Y, and I'm just going to do a quick double check and see that the letter preceding it is an O, which is a vowel. Again, a vowel is A, E, I, O, or U, and I'll write that down. So A, E, I, O, and then U. If it's any one of those right before the Y, then I know I can just keep the Y there and add my vowel, or add my suffix, which in this case is, I want to make it a plural, so I'm going to say toys. Let's do another one. Employ, right? When you've hired someone and they work for you, you employ that person. Well, present continuous is he, being the owner of the business, let's say, employs people. So I'm going to check the letter O, again, is a vowel. He employs. I'm just going to add my suffix. Another example here would be stay. Well, what does he do? Well, he stays. I know that the letter A is a vowel, the one preceding the Y, so I can just keep the Y where it is. Let's do another one. What did he do? He past tense, stayed. He stayed. Yep, that's the same thing. All right, stayed over. I have more examples in this. I usually come more prepared. Pray, right? Present continuous would be he prays, or he prayed for forgiveness or for the loss of a loved one, whatever the case may be. Kind of a dark example. All right, so that is the first rule. Again, if the letter preceding the Y, ending that word, is a vowel, you're just going to keep the Y where it is, keep it fixed, and then add your suffix. Okie doke. Now, if the word you're looking at obviously ends with the letter Y, because this is the rule, but the letter preceding it is a consonant, so it is every other letter except for A, E, I, O, or U in the alphabet, right? Then what you're going to do is you're going to get rid of the Y, the ending Y, and you're going to replace it with the letter I. Then you may add your suffix. A few examples that we have here, let's say supply. So I want to say he supplies. I can't add an S to it. It wouldn't work that way. Let me go ahead and erase that, because that's yucky. Instead, I'm going to just do a quick check and see that the letter preceding it, which is the letter L, also a consonant, tells me right away I need to drop the letter Y, replace it with an I, and then add my suffix, which in this case is ES, so he supplies. Another example I have is library. All right, right now it's in its singular form, but, why is it asking me to select all? Nope. I don't know what it's doing. Okay, we've got a library, but I want to convert this into its plural form. I want to say libraries. Can't just add an S to it because, again, looking at it, I can see that I have the letter R, which is a consonant, meaning I need to drop my Y altogether, replace it with an I, and then add my suffix. So it would be spelled libraries. Third example is to apply, right? Whether or not you're, like I apply something to the wall, or you apply for a job. Well, he or she applies themselves to the task or applies themselves for the job, whatever it is. But in this case, again, the letter preceding that Y is an L, which again, also a consonant, meaning I need to drop the letter Y altogether, replace it with an I, then add my suffix. And there's plenty of other examples to go with it. Just remember, if it's a consonant, right before that Y, get rid of the Y, and then replace it with an I, of course, before adding your suffix. All right, let's go ahead, and this one is really helpful, at least for me, because I know a lot of native English speakers struggle with this, surprisingly. But just know that if the word you're looking at, of course, ending in the letter Y, needs to become a gerund, or you're adding ing to it, then generally what you're going to do, regardless of whether or not the letter preceding it is a vowel, sorry, Gardner's here, if a vowel or a consonant, you're going to keep the letter Y where it's at. You're not going to change it, just leave it there, and then add ing. So study, right? Well, he studies, so, you know, I went from study, my root word, drop my Y to make studies. However, if I want to say he's studying, I'm just going to keep study, but then add ing. And this goes for pray, you know, praying, which I guess in that example is not great because A is a vowel, meaning I'm supposed to keep the Y there anyway. All right, well, before it gets any noisier, we're going to go ahead and leave it at that. I will say, again, there are exceptions to this rule. I'll just name a few, again, before it gets too noisy outside. You could say, oops, sorry guys, I had this, day, when it comes to the frequency of something, in which case I would go from the noun to using day as an adverb, like he lifts weights daily. I'm going to not keep the Y there, right? I'm not going to say daily. I'm not going to keep the Y there even though the letter before it is a vowel, Instead, I'm actually going to drop the Y altogether and replace it with an I to make daily. Same thing for say, right? Well, did he said? He said. Am I going to keep the Y as would be suggested by the rule because it's the letter A right before it? It's a vowel. I'm going to keep the Y. No, you're going to drop it altogether. And actually, you're going to drop the E as well. Said, right? It's not I-E-D, it's I-D. And another example would be lay, right? Well, okay, he laid down. Well, he didn't laid down in the way that you see it. It would be he laid, I-E-D. Oh, I-D, excuse me, not I-E-D, L-A-I-D. And there are lots of other examples. Again, I encourage you to Google or search them up. Try to commit as many as you can to memory. I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share. Hopefully this saved, which it did, thank God. Okie doke. If you found this video helpful, which hopefully you did, I would appreciate a like. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Otherwise, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It does help this channel grow so that I can communicate with others who are either interested in learning English or perhaps have some great ideas they'd like to share and collaborate. So, all right, thank you again. I hope you guys have a great week ahead. All right, bye.